last meeting we discussed about user interface objects and forms and dialog boxes and reports also. I mean, we have seen all the objects, how exactly the user interface and all. And we have seen about modules also, some little bit explanation of modules functionality and which module contains which kind of functionality. All these things we have seen in the last meeting. Today I'm going to discussing about the company's architecture. I mean, suppose if you take any ERP product, how the configurations and how the architecture will be of an ERP product. Coming to this product, okay, we are talking about our product Dynamics 365 F&O. In this product, basically, when you are thinking about a ERP product, it is a combination of multiple companies. I mean, for example, a client is maintaining different businesses. For example, footwear industry, retail industry, and any clothing business. I mean, garments. Okay, so this kind of business. If a client maintaining several businesses, that client needs to purchase different softwares to maintain their data, right? Each business having their own data. So that suppose if client maintaining four different businesses, so that person needs to purchase 4 different softwares to maintain their 4 business information. But here, if you go for ERP product, no need to go for 4 softwares to maintain their 4 businesses information. In a single ERP product, we can maintain all the business data in the form of companies. Here, there is a companies list will be available. So this is one company, this is another company, this is another company, this is another company. Let us assume that here we have a number of companies are available. Company in the sense it is a business here, but technically we can call it as a company name. But normally it is a business name. Conteso Entertainment System, it is a business name. Company accounts data, it is a business name. Conteso Retail FR, it is a business name. So each business having their own data. For example, right now I'm in a DAT company. DAT company in the sense, let us assume that this is a footwear industry. Suppose I'm in footwear industries. Now, if you open any module, for example, if you open human resource management employees, these employees belongs to footwear company. Okay. Currently there are no employees. That means in this company we don't have any employees. For example, if I change to any garments business, for example, GBSI, something like garments, GB, garments business. So in this business, we have these employees. Almost 20 to 25 employees are there. Suppose if I open any other business like FRRT, these employees are different. So depends on the company selection at top side, the data will be changed, but the form and the table will be same. We are going to storing data in the same table itself in the backend. But when we are selecting the company, data will be automatically refreshed in the user interface. For here, I have a number of businesses. I have a number of businesses here. Number of companies in the sense, number of businesses, right? So for each and every business, I'm not going to creating or developing a employee form. Only one employee form is enough to store all the company's information, all the businesses information. only one form. I mean, one table. One table is enough to store all the company's employees information here. No need to create multiple tables to store multiple companies employees information. So here, one thing we need to remember, data is specific to company. I mean, data belongs to company, I mean, here. But a development is not specific to any company. I mean, particularly for a company, we cannot create anything. That is not possible. I mean, this form I should show only in a particular company. Only I need to develop this kind of form only for that company or only for FRRT company. That is not possible. Development is not really to specific a company. For a company, we cannot develop a form. We cannot develop a report or a table kind of thing. Anything. See, development is different and the companies are different. Development will be done at Visual Studio. When we are developing anything, system will not ask you, okay, for which company you are creating this table, for which company you are creating this form. So system will not ask you. Simply we will create the table and we will create the form. That's it. So once it is come to the once we place the form in the user interface, that is your wish. Whether you want to store the data in FRRT, then you can use it. Otherwise, just leave it. In that company, we don't have a data here. Why? I don't have employees here. For example, this company is a kind of something like service industry. In service industry, maybe I don't have a manpower. So that is the reason I don't have any employees here. So you should think like that. Okay, coming to the company is always the user interface aspect. Company is not related to any development aspect. Company is different and the development is different. Each company data will be different. One company data will not be the same in another company, because that is different business, this is different business, data will be different, right? In garments business, employees will be different, and retail business employees will be different, but the table will be same. Here, whatever the form we are seeing, that is not changing. When I am changing the company, the form is not changing, just data is refreshing, that's it. But when you go for the SQL Server table, you can see all the company's data in a single table. See, here we are creating only one table to store all the company's information. Okay. So that what will happen in the back end, we have only one table. In that table, that company employees will be there. FRRT company employees will be there. Okay, GLRT company employees will be there. GBSA company employees will be there. Every company employees will be stored in a single table. In that table, one column will be there. That is called a data area ID. Okay. Now I will do one thing here for your best understanding purpose. Okay. Let us assume that this is a table I'm creating. Like here, I'm creating employee ID, name, age, okay, date of birth. In last, we have a field called data area ID. Here, employee ID, for example, that company D001. Okay, blah blah blah. Data area. It is a dat company. So that company. Okay. And for example, GBSA company. GBSA company. GBSA. And FRRT company. FRRT, like this. In table, data stores like this. Suppose if I'm creating a record in this form, this record will go and stores in the backend table like this. Like this. We will enter name, ID, age, date of birth. Finally, system will automatically takes the data area ID with that, because we are in that company. Suppose we are creating a record, this record directly stores against the that company. Suppose if I open FRRT company, if I create a new record, if I created a new employee in this form, so that system will store like this. But each and every record will go and sit in the same table itself. But the data based on the data area column, data will be segregated. For example, if I open that company, system will find out the records which is belongs to that company. For example, we have 10 records for that company. All the 10 records will be filtered and it will show in the user interface here. Every time when you select the company, system will fetch the data from the backend to front end based on the company name, which company you have selected. When you select immediately, system will automatically find the relevant company records in the SQL Server table, and it will fetch and it will show in the user interface object. That will done automatically. So this is called a database architecture when it comes to the front end and back end. So that is the reason our product, we can call it as a single database architecture. No need to create multiple tables here. Of course, we have a number of companies here, so that no need to create multiple tables to store the multiple companies information. Only single table is enough to store for a requirement. For example, here we have an employee table. For employee table, no need to create multiple employee tables. For that company, one employee table. For FRRT, one employee table. Not required. Only one table is enough. Of course, suppose if I go with another requirement, that is also same. For example, here there are loan items form is there. Loan items. Here I would like to store the loan items. Okay, if I create a new record, okay, this record will go and sit in the dat company. I mean, it will store against the dat company. For example, if I change the company name FRRT, maybe data will be different, something like. Okay, so this is what the database architecture behind of our ERP product. So this is called single database architecture. No need to create multiple databases. I mean, for that company, one database, FRRT, one database, that is not required. Then again, we need to go for previous generation kind of thing. If the product designed like that. So why ERP has more popularity in the sense, if you create n number of companies, just based on the database capacity, you can store the data. Front-end application is fine. Simply you can change the company name, that's it. One company to another company in a fraction of seconds. Okay. So this is all about the user interface structure and forms, reports, and etc. etc. Okay, coming to the development aspect. So here we are seeing a lot of functionalities like forms, reports, dialog boxes, and the user interface modules and each and everything. We have a lot of things here. So where we need to develop all these things. We have a development environment called Visual Studio. In that Visual Studio, we will develop all the aspects like modules, like forms, reports, dialog boxes, like tables, etc., whatever it is, the business logic, everything we will do it in the Visual Studio itself. And in SQL Server, we will not touch anything. In SQL Server, we will not create any tables, we will not create any databases, we will not do anything in SQL Server. Just that is a invisible important object, that's it. We will not touch the SQL Server even, because whatever the functionalities we need to develop, only we will interact with the user interface, we will interact with the Visual Studio, that's it. The SQL Server is the invisible object, that's it, invisible software. Whatever the tables you are creating in the Visual Studio, all the tables will stored in the SQL Server itself, because the primary data stores in the SQL Server. Here we are seeing a number of records in employee table. Those records already there in the SQL Server itself.